This first comic, he's a Denver local, but he hails from the Comanche Nation. Make some noise for Evan Johnson.
Hello, yes, my last name is Johnson. I am Native American. Don't worry. People love to ask when I tell them I'm Native. They're like, well, if your last name's Johnson, how are you Native American? How'd that happen? How'd your last name become Johnson if you're Native American? I love to ask those people, how do you think that happened? Why don't you look me in my brown face and tell me you think that happened, you honky honk honk? Why don't you? I can tell you, it definitely wasn't one of those consensual situations. All right, cool. The front row's no history. Awesome. I do have a confession to make. When Josh booked me for this show, I was very drunk. And he was, I like to, because I'm ethnically ambiguous, I like to fuck with people. I lie about what tribe I am, what race I am all the time, just to fuck with other comedians. But he was like, dude, you have to tell me what tribe you are for this show if you're gonna do the show. And again, very drunk, and I was just like, I can't, I'm the C one. And he was like, Comanche, and I was like, yeah, whatever. I'm Cherokee. I'm yeah. So, cheers. Yeah, dude, I don't know. I get lots of silly questions about being Native American. Like, my best friend, I remember years ago, he asked me, when the Redskins changed their name, that football team, he was like, are you glad that the Redskins changed their name? Like, was it offensive to you as a Native person that there was a football team called the Redskins? Was that offensive to you? And I was like, I'm much more offended by the fact that you've known me for 10 years and think I give a fuck about sports. You guys have known me for 10 seconds. You can tell I don't give a fuck about sports. It's not what any of this says. What? I don't know. Growing up, I'm Native and also half Spanish, which means growing up, my mom was racist. And the way I found that out was because people would come up to her all the time, asking what race she was. She's browner than me. Her mustache, way thicker. And people would come up to her at her job while she was working, and they would ask what race she was, all the time. But specifically, if people asked if she was Mexican, her response to that was, "Fuck you! Get the fuck out of my store right now! I told you to leave. Now you're trespassing. I can call the cops. Get the fuck out of my store right now!" By the way, she didn't own a store. She just worked at Office Depot. She's just kicking people out of Office Depot for asking if she's Mexican. And to reiterate, we're Native American in Spanish, which mathematically that's a goddamn Mexican. That's what goes into a Mexican. That's what that is. It's not only is my mom a dumb racist, she's a dumb racist Mexican. That's what she is. Yeah, man. I was getting shit on by another comic recently, another brown comic. They were being like, "Oh, you're a self-hating brown person. You have too many white friends. You have too many white friends. You're a self-hating brown person." I was like, first of all, yes, but that's depression. That has nothing to do with my race. I can be brown and depressed. That's just two things that are true. Yeah, okay, but also I get to have white friends. I grew up here in Colorado, which, I don't know if you know this, today at its most diverse is 86% white people, all right? That's with as many browns as we've ever had. That's a lot of white people. Not only that, I grew up here in Colorado in a town called Highlands Ranch, Colorado. I can tell this side of the room definitely knows what it is. If some people over here don't know what it is, you don't have to know what it is because it's white as fuck, because the second word in it is ranch. All right, so that's something white people love to do, live on, and eat. All right, so I get to have a friend named Asher. All right, I think I've earned that. Also, growing up in Highlands Ranch was fucked up, man. Because there was very few brown kids in my school. I would get called the wrong racial slurs all the time. They would call me the N-word and all this stuff. And that was fucked up. But what's even more fucked up is that now, as a grown man, when I get called the correct racial slurs, much too congratulatory to those people. Someone calls me an engine, I'm just like, first try, nice. Like, there's... I don't even feel bad about it. I'm just like, okay. Someone calls me a spick, I'm just like, you see me, you know I'm half. That's incredible. I can't believe it. I don't know, dude. I am a bad Hispanic person too, because I don't speak any Spanish. Like, I can understand a little bit, but I don't speak much at all. And I am also not brave enough to admit that sometimes. Like, I've had girls like ask me like to like say stuff in Spanish to them in bed, and I'll just fake it. I'll just be like, Feliz Navidad, did it. I'm like, it's August. What are you even saying right now? It doesn't even make sense. Fuck. I don't know, dude. I like to think that I'm pretty like woke when it comes to race stuff, but I do think you have to do the woke stuff correctly. Like, you gotta like actually put effort into it. Like, the new Star Wars movies are a great example. Like, when they added that new black character to the new Star Wars movies, I love that. It was great. It made all the racists mad because they're stupid. Don't remember that Lando's already a black guy in Star Wars. They're all fucking, there's no black guy. What? Lando's already a thing. But then they just ruined that guy's character throughout those 3 movies. Johnny Boyega's character just got worse and worse throughout those 3 movies, and that's insulting to a little brown kid watching those movies. Like, I loved Star Wars as a kid, and I didn't need Han Solo to be Hispanic for me to like those movies when I was a little kid. I just either imagined he's brown in the movies or I'm white when I play him. That's just... And also, Han Solo deals drugs throughout the galaxy. He drives around in a shitbox car, and his best friend's name is Chewie. Sounds pretty Hispanic to me. Sounds like my uncle and his best friend Chewie. Is what that sounds like. I don't know, man. Speaking of Chewie, and this is a true story. I used to work at a very fancy restaurant called the Melting Pot. I don't know if you guys have ever been in there. They fucking hated me. I was not a good fit for that place. Just swearing and being an idiot all the time. They didn't. And like there was one time I remember there was a gentleman there who worked as a bartender, and he looked exactly like Peter Mayhew, who, if you don't know, is the guy who played Chewbacca in all the Star Wars movies. A big tall dude inside the Wookiee suit, and he like looked identical to him. So I told him one day, I was like, "Hey man, you look just like Peter Mayhew." And he's like, "I don't know who that is." And I'm like, "That's crazy. No one's ever told you. He's the guy who played Chewbacca in all the Star Wars movies. I swear to God, you could be his twin. It's crazy. No one's ever said that to you." And this grown 50-year-old man, I swear to God, looked me in the face and goes, "Fuck you, dude." Which made me realize that this guy thinks that the guy who played Chewbacca fucking looks like Chewbacca. Thinks George Lucas is walking around in the 70s on Hollywood just being like, "I can't find a bear-dog-man hybrid. I don't know where I'm going. Oh my God, there he is." And he was like, and the rest was space history? What the fuck is he thinking? Yeah, they hated me at that job, man. I remember this story happened actually like a week before I got fired, so I'm like pretty sure it's why I got fired. They were playing that game, Fuck, Marry, Kill. Like, we all play that game, you know that game. We all play it at work. It's like the point of it is to like make it like kind of embarrassing. Like, we all know the person you want to fuck and the person you want to marry and the person you want to kill amongst our friend group. Now imagine, I guess I didn't understand the rules at the time and I got flustered. And now imagine everyone at work knows the one person you want to do all 3 of those things to. Because that's what happened to me. They're like, "Evan, who do you want to fuck, marry, and kill?" And I was like, "Jacob." So my relationship with the janitor really changed after that. I got my station cleaned first. I don't know, man. I'm kind of neurotic about my looks. I dress nice. I know I'm a sexy boy, but But also, like, I'll get insulted a lot, like, on accident even. Like, a guy, like, I thought this guy, this happened to me on South Broadway. I was walking down, and this guy came up to me, and he goes, "Bro, you look like that guy from The Mandalorian." And instead of assuming he meant, like, Pedro Pascal, The Mandalorian, very popular actor, Last of Us, Game of Thrones, other things, I was fully ready to fight this dude because I thought he meant Baby Yoda. I was like, "He has a name. It's Grogu, bitch." Like, I was ready to go after him. Yeah, dude, I don't know, I'm short too, and you get accidentally roasted for that. Like, I remember once I was with my grandparents, and I was wearing like this trench coat thing. Like, it's a trench coat. I was wearing a trench coat, and my grandfather, he goes, "Is that a trench coat? Is that what that kind of jacket would be called? Would you consider that a trench coat? I'm not a fashion guy. Is that a trench coat?" And before I can say yes, my grandmother just hits him, and she goes, "No, Lee, that's a regular sized jacket. It just looks big on him." Fuck you, Grandma. What the hell? Glad you got COVID. It's fine. She's dead. Oh no, dude. I get the accidental insult. I also I'll get insulted this has been happening to me recently. Is that after the last 3 women I've hooked up with, afterwards they'll look at me. I swear to God, they'll just be like, "Man, bisexual guys really lay down the best dick. I am not bisexual." They're just being like, "Man, you pump pussy like you suck cock or something. I don't know what's going on, but it's working for you." Feels like I'm betraying you if I tell you I'm not. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I get confused. I mean, honestly, that's better than what I mostly get when I'm trying to hit on women, because I get confused for a gay man every time I try to hit on a girl. It's gotten it's gotten to a bad point. I genuinely feel at this point I can look a woman in her face and be like, "I want to eat your pussy," and her response would just be like, "Gay guys eat pussy now? That's so." That's crazy. I don't know. I guess it's 2023. Anyone can do anything. That's pretty cool. That's great. Oh no, man. Also, I used to have really long, shoulder-length hair, kind of Dave Grohl-length hair. And I did a tour in the Midwest, and I was getting confused for a woman constantly. It was so much. This is true. I was at a hotel with my girlfriend at the time, and we checked in, and I'm a dumb stoner idiot, so I forgot something in the car. I had to go back to the car, and again, dumb stoner idiot, immediately forgot the room number we were in. So I had to go back to the concierge. I was like, "Hey, I'm very forgetful. I know we checked in 90 seconds ago, but I forgot the room number you gave us. Would you mind just telling me? I just had to go get some in the car. Would you mind telling me what room number we're in?" And this lady goes, "Actually, sir, I cannot give you that information because it was 2 females who checked into that room." You understand what? That means I both look like a woman and like someone who would kill 2 women. What the? She's like, "For those girls' protection, I can't tell you that." I'm like, "I'm one of those girls. What are you? What's going on right now? I feel like I'm in a Chris Nolan movie. What the fuck is happening?" Just confused, man. I don't know. I'm a skinny boy, and I've gotten this a lot. Speaking of stuff that's been said to me after sex, is I've had this basically every time a woman's seen me naked. Every time they haven't been like, "God, your body's so sexy." You're like, "God, I just love your body." But what they have said every time, without fail, is, "God, I wish I had your body." Not a compliment, ladies, just an FYI. If you're like, you know what would make you really hot is if you didn't have the head of the Tapatio guy. That'd actually be very attractive. I don't know. I'm also hairy too, which is not a great, I'm not, we all see my chest. I don't have chest hair, but I do have a good head. I have hairy arm. I'm not hairy the way a manly man is hairy, right? I'm hairy the way a piece of gum that fell on the floor is hairy. You can't tell where it begins or where it ends, you know, each of my nipples has a different kind of male pattern baldness, if you feel me. One keeps pretending he has a faux hawk, the other just looks like Gollum from Lord of the Rings. It's just, to give you guys a perspective, I have 2 happy trails, one in the front and one in the back. And here's some insider info for y'all. That's not 2 happy trails, that's just one unhappy U-turn. That's all that is. Yeah, I call it the Trail of Tears to honor my native heritage. All right? I knew that was going to kill here. I'll get off with this quick little story that has basically nothing to do with the rest of my material, but I like telling it. I'm going to age myself here because when I was in kindergarten, 9/11 happened. Not to the building, obviously. Those are way far away. But 9/11 happened when I was in class. And I don't know if you guys know this, but you can't tell a bunch of 8-year-olds that a plane flew into a building because their response would just be "Rad." They just think it's cool. But here's the thing, is that what our teachers did was not any better, because what they did do was they came in and they basically were like, "Hey guys, so something happened. And you gotta go home early now. After lunch, you gotta have recess, and then you gotta go home early. You get a half day today." And I swear to God, if you were a teacher in my school and you had just heard about 9/11, and then you walked past my classroom, you would have thought that classroom was full of tiny Muslim extremists, because we were just like, "Yes!" And we were so excited. I remember high-fiving kids. I remember one kid saying, "This is the best day ever." That kid said that on OG 9/11. He said that Not one of them, one of the anniversaries, on original recipe 9/11. He said this is the best day ever. I don't know, this has been the best day ever. You guys have been great. Give it up for your host, Josh.
Give it up for Evan Johnson, everybody. Actually, don't give it up for Evan Johnson. I am livid. The fact that he's not Comanche, fuck him. I thought that's why he had the mustache. Cherokee? Cherokee is the most basic tribe. Cherokee is the Diet Coke of Native American tribes. Everybody boo Evan Johnson right now. I'm just kidding. Make some noise for him. All right? Thank you. The next